Hello, 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 Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia, and this is TransurfingTV. And today on TransurfingTV, I'm going to read a little part in the book called Chasing the Reflection, because I see a lot of people doing this. I see a lot of people doing all kinds of stuff. It's really fascinating. And I'm not judging. Like, I have my own things for sure. I mean, there are times where my partner is like, dude, what are you talking about? What are you saying? Do you hear yourself? This goes against everything about your philosophy. I have moments where I absolutely do fall back into my old worldview, my old programming, my old modus operandi, and I act like a freaking snail, and I can chase my reflection, and I can show that I'm discontent with my world, or that, you know, I can act in a way where I exponentially get more of what it is exactly that I'm doing, right? Focusing on the negative, all that stuff. We all do it. We all do it. But if you have really come to understand the mirror concept, the idea that reality, all reality is doing is reflecting back a mirror image of our attitude, beliefs, and actions towards it, period. Not only can you catch yourself when you start to fuck up and create some reality that you're not happy with, or version of yourself, or focusing on your shortcomings, or picking apart parts of your external environment, but you can also see other people, and this isn't in a judgmental way, it's in an educational way. Like, I have a close friend right now that I love dearly. She's one of my closest gals. And I can see that she's gone on an induced transition. She's spiraled down. She's focused on the negative. She's chasing a reflection. She's expressing to her mirror a lot of ideas that aren't transurfing. And her reality is absolutely giving back to her exactly what it is that she's putting forth towards it. Now, the cool thing is, when you recognize this within other people, you can then recognize it within yourself. When you start to get yourself to a place where reality isn't ideal. Now, reality isn't always going to be ideal. There are going to be times where things induce transitions. Vadim Zeland even, says that his life has been a constant, going up and going into an induced transition. Same with me, right? Same with me. The cool thing about my induced transitions now is they're very short-lived. They are a slight dip down in lifelines, and I get right back up very quickly because I understand the mirror and how the mirror works. If you missed my video on taking action, go back and take a look at that. I believe it's just titled Action. Action is a really quick and efficient way of getting a new image coming back at you very, very quickly. If you don't know what to do, take action. If you don't like something, take action. If you're not happy with yourself, take action. If you're not happy with your reality, take action and get your mirror responding in a new way. So before I read this brief part from the book and then give my 2 cents on it a little bit, remember to like this video and subscribe to this channel and comment or question below. Join us on the Facebook group, the International Transurfing Institute Facebook group. And my courses, Reality 2.0 and Tufty 2.0, links down below. Follow me on Instagram. It's a groovy place. And let's jump right into it, you guys. Okay, so chasing your reflection, 655. Each person creates the individual layer of their world, their own reality, with their mental outlook. Their reality acquires a certain tone depending on their attitude. Figuratively speaking, certain weather conditions are set. There may be morning freshness in the sunshine, cloudy skies, and heavy rain, or even a raging hurricane or natural disaster. To some extent, reality is created, as is commonly thought, as a result of a person's direct actions. Thought forms are no less powerful, however. It is just that their impact is less evident. In either case, the majority of problems are caused by a negative attitude to life. The mess that is created on the metaphysical layer then has to be sorted through on the physical level, which complicates the issue. Overall, the picture of a person's separate reality depends how they position themselves in relationship to everything that surrounds them. At the same time, a person's frame of mind is conditioned by what is happening around them. So what we have is a closed feedback loop. Reality is created as a reflection of an individual's thought forms, and those thought forms in turn are greatly determined by the reflection itself. See? Get it? It's pretty amazing how simple it is, yet how tricky it is if you don't see it. When a person stands in front of a mirror, they focus all their attention on the mirror without trying to look inside of themselves. It turns out that then the ruling role in the feedback chain is played not by the image, but by the reflection. The person finds themselves under the mirror's power because they are mesmerized by their own copy. It does not occur to them that they can change the original. It is specifically due to this obsessive focus on the reflection that we actively get what we do not want. Usually, our negative feelings have a total grip on our attention. We are absorbed with the thoughts of the things we would prefer to be different. We think about the things we do not want, and we do not want the things we think about. This is the paradox. The mirror does not take into account a person's willingness or reluctance. It simply conveys an exact reproduction of the content of the image, no less and no more. It is quite absurd. People voluntarily lug around with them the things they cannot stand. The saying should be not "my tongue is the enemy," but "my thoughts are my enemy." Despite its absurdity, this is how things are. What happens when a person feels hate? They pour their entire heart and mind into the feeling. The sharp image is perfectly reflected in the mirror, filling the layer of that person's world. Whatever you hate, you will encounter in your life in abundance. This causes one to be even more irritable, which in turn embellishes the intensity of the feeling. Mentally, a person reaches a point where they are ready to tell everyone to get lost. Bugger off. The mirror then returns the event like a boomerang. You told everyone to bugger off, and they did the same to you. Does this cause the number of problems to escalate? You bet. If you stand in front of the mirror and shout, "Go to hell, the lot of you," the reflection you will see in the mirror is yourself going to hell along with the rest of your world. Okay, so chasing the reflection, it is really about, I wouldn't say chasing the reflection is the exact right way to translate what Vadim's relaying here. What he is really implying is this idea of you trying to fix the reflection within the reflection. So this would be like you standing in front of a mirror and your hair is all messy, right? I messed my hair up. And your hair is all messy and you're trying to comb the hair on the mirror, right? And it's not working. See, if I know you can't tell what I'm doing, but I'm trying to put my hair back in its place with my finger within the image on my iPhone. And I know this is crazy because it's kind of like, well, that's stupid. But this really is what people are typically doing. They're trying to correct the image within the image itself. rather than doing what I just did and actually combing my physical hair, right? Combing my physical hair, this is me tending to where the image originates. So if you're irritated, if you don't have what it is you want, if you are challenged with how your reality looks, feels, responds to you, if you are in dysfunctional relationships, if you don't have the money that you want, if you don't have the lifestyle that you want, if you feel as though you lack the freedom that you desire, if you feel as though life isn't delivering, if you feel depressed, or if you feel that life is a scary, inhospitable place, an environment that doesn't support or nurture you in the ways that you feel entitled, if you are in any state of negative being, or if you are experiencing any negativity or undesirable events in your external reality, it's all a feedback loop. It's all a feedback loop. And the cool thing for me, and I will say that there are times that I actually feel a little bit crazy when I think like this, but I will start to go into an induced transition. It happened when I got COVID, and I couldn't be my normal self and active and doing all the stuff that I typically do. And I started to blame my reality. I started to, why do I gotta get COVID again? I'm a transurfer. Why does this happen to me? What did I do wrong? Why am I being punished? Why, why this, why that, why? And I just stopped myself and I was like, stop, wait a second. You are chasing your reflection. You are chasing your reflection. So then I stop, I see myself, I see my reality. I remember that I'm only experiencing myself. I am only experiencing myself. I decided to invert my experience of having COVID again and fully believe that it was a positive, that it was me going into a cocoon only to come out a bigger and more badass butterfly. And in doing this, and this is where, when I said I start to feel a little bit crazy, or I think that I'm a little bit crazy, I can turn it like that. I can go from a negative mindset to a positive mindset like that. And I can actually, my partner will be like, damn, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you can move from where you just were to where you are right now. And all of a sudden, everything's looking up. Everything's working out to my favor. Everything that's happening is advantage. My world's taking care of me. Everything's going according to plan. All of that stuff. When I turn away from those exact ideas that I have spent my last 6 years cultivating so I could create my own reality and keep myself going towards my intention, right? Really coordinating my external environment, no matter what it's bringing, with who I am and what I'm doing and what my intentions are, and continue on towards that path. This is where I've got to be. And I have the ability to go to an induced transition and then flip over as quickly as I can, as soon as I catch myself and realize that I am in fact chasing my reflection. So I want you to ask yourself today, and I know this is probably a little bit challenging to kind of ask on the spot, but keep this question in your mind for the rest of your day. And then the answer will come to you. How are you chasing your reflection today? How are you attempting to comb your hair in the mirror instead of combing it on your own head? How are you attempting to fix reality within reality rather than tending to where the image originates. You. It all starts with you. So that's it, everybody. Chasing the reflection. I hope that you take something valuable from this lesson today. And I hope that you can find a way just a little bit more starting today to turn that focus inward and work on something internal within yourself that's going to allow your reality to reflect back to you an image more of your liking. Powerful, it works, and the mirror is everything. So thank you so much for watching my video, everyone, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.